So I raise bugs and I feed them to people. I'm shocked at how popular this has proven to be. My own first experience with eating edible insects came in Thailand in 2006. It was one of those situations where you're in a beautiful beachfront bungalow bar, sipping on Chang beer and watching the craziest soap operas you have ever seen. The bartender puts a bowl of munchies down in front of you, and without thinking about it, pop one in your mouth and freeze. What did I just eat? You look down in the bowl and it's filled with deep-fried crickets and some sort of larvae. And yet, before you know it, you've gone through 4 bowls of the stuff. The beer helps. So you quickly grow used to these little treats. When I got back to America, I was disappointed that I couldn't go to the grocery store and buy some dry roasted crickets or something. I looked around to see if anybody else cared. This is 2006. No one did. So I shelved the idea. Fast forward to 2013. I'm living in California when the UN's Forestry and Agriculture Organization releases this 206-page report talking about edible insects as an avenue for food security. This report was downloaded over 1 million times in the first 24 hours it was up, making it the most popular document that the UN has ever produced. And with good reason. Edible insects offer a sustainable protein source for an ever-hungrier world. They use a fraction of the food, water, and space used by traditional livestock like chickens, cows, and pigs. They can be dried and ground into shelf-stable protein powders, and we can build up reserves against food shortages like we do with corn, wheat, other staples. But I really feel like when we're talking about these issues, it's best to have an infographic so that you can see how much feed it takes to make a pound of ground beef, a pound of crickets, a pound of eggs, or whatever. As you can see, I did not bring an infographic. And that's because when I got interested in cultivating and raising edible insects, I had no idea about it. For me, it came down to taste. As you might be able to guess, I'm something of an adventurous eater. I'll try most things once, even the pesto. And that's what really gets me excited about the edible insects. The crickets themselves taste like a marriage of cashews and sweet corn, as somebody put it. You get pistachio a lot too, but that sounds less cool. There are so many flavors available in the world of edible insects. There are ants that taste like honey. There's ants that taste like bacon. Yeah, I know. There are giant water beetles with the flavor and texture of lobster. And this is just the insects that have easy to describe flavors. There's a type of hornworm that tastes like fried green tomatoes with the texture of soft-shell crab. Amongst insects, just the ones that we already know that people eat, you have about 2,100 options. Some of them are main dishes in themselves, others are ingredients in other recipes, and still others are dried and ground and added alongside the other spices in your rack. But enough about that. I'm not standing up here to sell you on the benefits of eating edible insects. There's plenty of the aforementioned infographics out there on the internet to do that for me. I'm here to talk to you about the behind-the-scenes life of a cricket farmer in Youngstown, Ohio. So, imagine that you are moving from our clean room into the silvery insulated tent. Your clothes immediately start clinging to your body. There's a strange but not unpleasant scent in the air, and you can hear the pervasive chirping of the adult crickets trying to find a little love. Within minutes, you feel that first drop of sweat begin to run down your brow, and you know that it's going to be a hot couple hours. The crickets themselves have 3 homes throughout the course of their lives. Each one is substantially larger than the last. The crickets really like to have a bit more personal space as they get older and older. I know you understand. They spend most of their time hanging out on these egg cartons that we like to call cricket high-rises. It's kind of a live, eat, work communal space. They chow down on organic grain-based feed and assorted fruits and veggies throughout the course of their lives. And the luckiest crickets are, of course, the ones that go on to breed. We have to think very carefully when we breed our crickets, because each mother cricket will lay between 1,000 and 3,000 eggs in her lifetime. We could be drowning in crickets in short order, and that's not a situation I want to be in. And with 7 weeks from hatch to harvest, we have to think about this pretty often. So, one question that people love to ask us, and are always a little nervous about, is how our crickets meet their end. There's a lot of awesome mental images out there involving really tiny knives. But the truth of the matter is way more boring than that. It was important to me that we were able to slaughter our crickets humanely, so we utilized this little behavioral hack. Did I mention that they have fabulously complicated behaviors? Because they totally do. Anyways, in nature, as winter falls, so do the crickets' body temperatures. They're cold-blooded animals, after all. So, below a certain temperature, they fall into a hibernation-like state called diapause. Warm them up, and they'll hop away, as one of our chef friends found out early in our recipe testing process. Cool them down a little bit more, and they won't wake back up. No pain, no suffering, just a natural body process. I wish that we were able to slaughter all of our livestock so cleanly. So, in the past year, we've appeared in wads of national media. The New York Times, Bloomberg, Vice, Munchies. That one was my favorite. This is crazy to me. I never expected so many people to be so interested in our little farm. I'm both humbled and amazed at what's developed out of a simple desire to eat bugs with friends. And finally, in answer to that eternal question, why Youngstown? I love doing this in Youngstown. Our city, in the midst of its newfound revitalization, has been a wonderful place to call home for throngs of food-grade crickets, for our business, and for our friends. If there's one thing we've spent our lives looking for, it's space. And if there's one thing Youngstown has no shortage of, it's space. But Youngstowners are tougher than the steel this city was famous for. I've never seen so many people united in such rugged determination to drive their city forward. I'm both proud to be part of that effort, and I'm awed by the progress that has already been made. So thank you for your advice, for your support, for your patience, and most of all, for being willing to try something new.